challenge because it was a new concept and there were a lot of risks of pilferages or misappropriation of the cash by the delivery staff or the operations team. Have sudden increase in the volumes in the system. So it's always a contingency plan that works. And you will have a lot of diverse the vendor management also that we plan across.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to FaceTime with Leaders, a podcast series by Directors Institute, World Council of Directors. I am Rajesh Joshi, and today we have the privilege of welcoming a leader with over 2 decades of dynamic experience in operations, service delivery, and team leadership across India. Currently overseeing cash management operations and P&L responsibilities for 6 major states as the Director of Business Operations for the Southwest Zone at CMS Infosystems Limited. It is an honor to introduce Mrs. Mumtaz Junedi to the podcast. Mrs. Mumtaz, welcome to FaceTime with Leaders. It is indeed an honor to have you here.
Hello, Rajesh. Good afternoon, and thank you so much for having me on this episode of FaceTime with Leaders. Indeed, glad and being honored to be on this platform. Thank you so much.
Sure, ma'am, the pleasure is all ours. And trust me, this is going to be a great episode. Ma'am, to start this conversation, efficiency in logistics is about being more proactive than reactive. How do you anticipate and address potential issues before they arise?
Yeah, fine. See, logistics is all about service. It's a service
Mhm.
industry,
Right.
and this industry majorly works on being proactive rather reactive because this industry can't afford to be reactive as service is involved in this, and everything is time sensitive and quality sensitive industry it is. So the approach is always on a proactive method. So how do we address this thing is like we always be one step ahead in identifying the issues before it arises.
Right.
And it is all about the clear communication, establishing a clear communication with the team and both with the external and the internal customers, and always being proactive in making your route plans, your infra, your resources well in advance, and ensure your routes are planned on time so that there is no delays in your transportation. And yeah, having the team prepared well in advance to manage the contingency. So the contingency plans are always in place in the logistics industries. That
Mhm.
plays a vital role
Mhm.
because when we talk about logistics, how does the crisis arrive? Is like there are times when we have sudden increase in the volumes in the system. Like
Right.
you have a festive seasons, or like you have a post season sale, end of season sale that comes in the e-commerce industries, like you have Flipkart, Amazon. So there's not many industries. So at those times, your volumes are much higher than your regular volumes. So you can't plan those activities at that time when you already have the volumes. So it's always a contingency plan that works,
Right.
and you will have a lot of diverse the vendor management also that we plan across. So you will have a
Mhm.
lot of diverse network of suppliers and the vendor partners that we have, so that in case of crisis, your entire operation doesn't get disrupted. So
Right.
even if there
Right.
is a risk, it is very minimal risk that you will face. These are a few methodologies that the logistics industries normally have in place.
Great, great, ma'am. So it is about proactively understanding what exactly could go wrong, and at the same time, even if it goes wrong, something could be out of your control. And if it goes wrong, as you rightly said, risk mitigation becomes an essential part with a contingency
Absolutely.
plan around, and just put it across and ensure that operations are efficiently still going on. End of the
Absolutely.
day, all of you supply chain management professionals, for you, the motto, I believe, is the show must go on, whatever happens.
Absolutely. And most importantly, you will also keep your customers in loop on all this. The transparency of having the customers in loop on what you're doing, how you're doing is very important, because this industry is all about keeping your customers convinced that they are in their goods are in the safe hands and it's been taken care safely. So that's more important as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. It is impressive to hear about your proactive strategies in logistics, ma'am. Addressing potential issues before they arise truly demonstrates strong leadership
Yes.
in this. This brings me to the next question. Handling P&L responsibilities for multiple regions at CMS Infosystems must have required a strategic approach. What have been your most successful strategies in achieving and maintaining profitability?
Oh, that's really a tough question and also a tough responsibility that we handle in this role, actually. PNS, to be very precise, the logistics industries, if we talk about the revenue margins, Rajesh, it is
Mhm.
very, very constant, this
Right,
industry. The
right.
revenue margins are always constant in this industry. However, the cost of operations keep increasing. Okay, so
Mhm.
it becomes very, very evident that we have to be on our toes to ensure the margins are maintained, the profits are maintained, else it becomes really difficult. And the options of having the cost effective is also very minimal in this industry. Looking at the cost, like as you said, the fuel costs keep increasing, your maintenance costs keep increasing. It's more about your entire industry is reliance on the transportation, the supplies, the packaging. There's so many things that is involved. To ensure that the margins are maintained is like we always have a proactive approach in having a very robust sales team who can work on a very better sales targets and developing a very high performing teams in the system so that they deliver the required results for you. And again, effective communications, we're having a clear and objective communications.
Mhm.
That's most important so that the entire team is on the same page. We all talk the same goals, we all follow the same goals, and the results are ensured. Like, so those are some important things. And in order to ensure that we have a profits, we also work on cost effective operations asset, maximize utilization of the technology,
Mhm.
that helps us cost benefits, and also using your infra and resources in such a way so that your operational low operational costs and high productivities. Okay,
Mhm.
so these are something that we focus on, the high productive things, which will give benefits. And again, more on the technology part, so that you have regular tracking mechanisms, you have your data clarity in the systems. These are some strategies that we look at ensuring that we have decent margins that we try to manage. Like, yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely fantastic, ma'am. And one can really not discount the very fact that being in such a challenging role, overseeing operations, looking at cost, and at the same time trying to get the best possible margins and coordinate with sales teams, inform them, educate them about capacity utilizations, route management, and at the same time work it out backwards. That must be a very, very, very challenging affair.
Also, there's a lot of negotiations also that happens in terms of rates with the clients,
Right,
as in
right,
when operational costs keep increasing, the dynamics of the logistics keep changing.
right.
So there are times that we go back to the clients and negotiate on the rates and explaining them the challenges on the ground, how it happens, and all. This also helps time to time again for us to manage the.
Absolutely, absolutely, ma'am. Your insights on profitability strategies are valuable, especially in such a competitive market. It's clear that your leadership has made a significant impact. Ma'am, that brings us to another question. Receiving the Bravo Zulu Award at FedEx for your work in COD management and process accuracy is a significant recognition. What challenges did you overcome to achieve this? And how did it impact the company's operations?
Um, in fact, BC is one of the prestigious award that is being given in FedEx company, and I
Mhm.
was glad to be receiving that for the contribution on COD, as we called it COD. In fact, I've got busy for COD management and also being part of retail management as well. So being in operations, I was part of helping the retail team as well in terms of setting up some retail sales. So it was two BCs that I got in FedEx. Now, talking about
Wow.
the COD management, those were days, Rajesh, when initially this COD concept came in India. Like this is cash
Mhm.
on delivery. COD is
Oh, yes.
nothing but cash on delivery.
Oh, yes.
The first time the cash on delivery was introduced in the industry by Flipkart, the then called WS Retail. It was called WS Retail. And the
Mhm.
first cash on delivery shipment was of books that we did it
Okay.
in Bangalore. And it was, I feel it was a privilege that I was part of the team who handled the COD as a first consignment in India, actually.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Okay, so this was started by Flipkart. Initially, it was only the books that were delivered on cash on delivery. Then slowly, it became a success model, and we had a lot of e-commerce companies coming into India, like the Naptols, Snapdeals, the eBay, the
Right.
Amazons, the Flipkarts, the India Mart, the lot many which came, and huge shipments started coming in on cash on delivery basis. This was more
Right.
convenient to the customers as well as the organizations, the e-commerce organizations to generate revenues. Very convenient way of generating revenues. So the COD was initially, it was a challenge because it was a new concept and there were a lot of risks of pilferages or misappropriation of the cash by the delivery staff or the operations team. So setting up the entire dedicated operations for COD management, setting up a reconciliation method in the system, to reconcile the day-to-day deliveries, the day-to-day collections, and depositing it back to the client's accounts. This was all a very challenging thing and a new learning opportunity for me as an individual in FedEx. It was a really very enlightening experiences, and I had successfully implemented all those processes to ensure the COD as a model, as a product, is being handled very efficiently with very minimal risk and with proper data tracking and day-to-day reconciliation. So based on that performance and the results that was delivered by overall as a team of FedEx, this BZ was being given as a recognition. Like, so it's a great experience actually. But now it's become a common product in the logistics
Of
industry,
course.
COD. Like, yeah.
Truly inspiring, ma'am. And especially as you rightly mentioned, when this entire concept of cash and delivery actually came in,
Yeah.
there must have been a lot of unscrupulous elements, if I may say so, who would be there into the system, and you putting in processes to ensure that things are functioning smoothly. And a little while back when you mentioned that your objective is always to ensure to keep the customer in the loop about what exactly is happening. I believe all of that has actually helped you in not just getting this award, that is obviously a recognition to all the hard work that you've put in, but I would say it is more of an asset to envision this entire process and putting it into motion. And that I believe is a fantastic achievement, ma'am. I must really compliment you
Yeah,
on that.
it's initially it's a big struggle because making the team understand the objective of the product and the results expected, and keeping the team work with high integrity because there's a lot of cash that is involved in this on a day-to-day basis. So all that plays a really vital role. You have to be constantly in touch with the team, keep motivating them, keep inspiring them on the work they do. So all this really matters. So I think I had a great team working under me, due to which it's always a success because the team works, right? It's all a teamwork in industry, especially
Right.
in a logistic industry. I always believe it's never an individual contribution. It's always a team contribution in a service industry.
Well, as true as it is, ma'am, but this is the hallmark of a great leader who would actually attribute the success of the entire operation or a project to the team and not just a single person. Hats off to you,
That's
ma'am, on that.
Thank you so much. But that's the fact, actually.
Of course, it's a fact. Ma'am, with your extensive experience in logistics, what steps do you believe the industry can take to better address ESG concerns, particularly in reducing the carbon footprint of supply chain operations?
See, when we talk about ESG, actually, definitely logistics as an industry, has a very significant environmental, what we call environmental footprint. Okay,
Right.
significant environmental footprint. But now with the changing times, it is very important that this industry can do a lot in terms of having ESG in place. If you, as said earlier, logistics is more reliance on the transportation and the supplies and the printing. There's a lot of paper work that is being done, and using of the vehicles. All these are adding on to the environmental footprint.
Right.
So, in order to get the carbon emission avoided, what we can do is it's a little tough as on day, but yeah, definitely the measures can be taken, like avoiding paperworks, lot of paper processes, bringing in more of technology driven systems, so that there's a less paperwork that can be used, or the reducing of the printing that we have, or maybe recycling your supply materials or the printing materials, recycling those. I think
Right.
that can be done. And talking about the transportation, where you have a lot of vehicles that is being used in the system, right? So they add on a lot of carbon emissions. So for that, we can always look at bringing in more of electric vehicles, at least. But it's a challenge in India as of now, getting on electric vehicles in the goods model. So we have for individual personal users, we have, but getting it on the goods vehicles, I think as a government is taking those steps, and as an industry, I think we also can look at it, getting the electrical vehicles. These are few things which can be done, and which will definitely help to have a very minimal waste, and actually adds on to the natural benefit.
Right.
Like,
Right, right, absolutely. Ma'am, I actually have absolutely no doubt that with leaders like you in the logistics function, if I may say so, there is obviously some ray of hope that we have. And yes, as you rightly said, logistics is one of the functions where carbon emissions and carbon footprint is definitely a concern. But it is really encouraging to see that leaders like you are looking at the problem in again a very proactive way, if I may say so, and are wanting to look at solutions which are obviously are feasible at both ends of the spectrum. That's really encouraging from your end, ma'am.
yeah, in the current company, Rajesh, where I'm working in CMS Infosystems, like we have a lot of steps that we have taken in order to support this ESG thing.
Uh-huh.
Like we even as a part of CSR, we do a lot of plantations in, so like we have planted close to lakh and above plants in Mumbai and other part of states, which also helps the natural thing for the
Of
country. Like,
course,
so
of course,
a
of
lot of
course.
other steps out of the office through CSR also we handle these things, and I'm sure a lot of other companies are also doing this. I think slowly or gradually, even the logistics industry is taking ESG as a very serious and a responsible requirement, and the people are working towards it, I'm sure, definitely.
Absolutely, absolutely, ma'am. Ma'am, taking a leaf out of the CSR point that you just made,
Yeah.
as a career development facilitator and volunteer, you've made significant contributions to the society. How have these experiences outside of work influenced your professional leadership style?
Oh, that's an interesting question and an interesting topic as well for me as an individual. Honestly speaking, Rajesh, as an individual, I have always lived a life with a thought that there is a very huge responsibility on me as an individual, that what can I give back to the society. So this has been there in me before even I got into my professional level. So that's been a passion. And I have always been looking for opportunities, that how can I be close to the society, and even in a smaller way, what value addition can I do to the society? Like, so that was one thing which always kept me working towards that. And being a career facilitator, I've associated with one of a organization called Dheya,
Mhm.
who mentors the students from the age of 12 and above, helping
Okay.
them to manage their career, helping them to plan their careers. So I volunteer there, and do mentoring and coaching to the students, what do you call the next generations, and it is really required to handhold them to choose the right career path for them and take the right decisions in life. I think it gives a lot of joy that if we are able to help the next generations. And being a part of Dheya, I am also certified psychometrics analyst. Okay,
Okay.
so as a part of volunteering and career mentoring, when we go through the psychometrics of different kids, different people, as an individual also, you get to learn how to read people's mind, how to read people's strengths. And one thing that I've learned being a career facilitator or a psychometrics analyst is like, no person is born with any weakness. Everybody is born with only and only different strengths. Okay, there is
Right,
no
right.
word called weakness at all in any human being. Okay, it's all, everybody comes with a different strengths, and it
Right.
is only important to identify those strengths and build upon those strengths and help them choose the careers or the passion that help that they can use these strengths and excel in their lives. So that is something which has really, really motivated me, and that helps me now in my career as well. Because
Mm-hmm.
when I'm shortlisting some candidates, or when I'm assigning tasks, any specific task or assignments to the employees or the team under me, uh, those learnings actually helps me to identify the right person who can do this task, who has the strengths, who can fulfill this requirement of the organization. So it becomes really easy for me to cascade or delegate those tasks to the right people and get the right results. That is on the facilitating experience that I use in career and the professional life. And the other one is I am associated with bringing file foundation called Bringing Smiles Foundation,
Mm-hmm.
based out of Bangalore. And here, what we do, we volunteer for the educational supplies of the underprivileged, and closely work for women empowerment, for the girl
Okay.
education and women empowerment. Yeah.
Okay.
So, meeting these underprivileged students or the families, and helping them, uh, giving them the livelihoods, helping them with some sort of work where they can earn small money and all that. So while doing all this, we will also get to know if there are people whom we can give them jobs in the current organization where I'm working, or I can refer
Mm-hmm.
them to another companies where they can fit in. So this will help both as a in the professional life also, and as an individual, that you are helping somebody by giving them their earning source, or putting them onto the jobs and improve their lifestyles. Like, so it gives an immense pleasure and joy doing this for the society. And it helps in both ways, personal and professional way. Yeah,
Wow, wow. Simply fascinating to see how your volunteer work influences your leadership style. I mean, your holistic approach
absolutely.
is truly commendable. And I'm 100% sure anybody and everybody watching this podcast is surely taking down notes and also registering the importance of actually having something to do which gives you some kind of an happiness. Well, it also helps you in your professional setup back at the office. And at the same time, I believe you seem to be, when you're done with this work, I'm 100% sure you feel so content and so satisfied with having been, of importance to somebody. You've made some importance in someone's life, or maybe tried to be important. Hey, that's really a good feeling, isn't it, ma'am?
Absolutely, because I always believe leadership is all about inspiring people. What you do,
Absolutely.
right? You just keep inspiring the people with your work, and automatically things fall in place, and the team below you also will continue to do the same thing. So just keep doing good things and keep inspiring people. That
Fantastic.
element is
Fantastic.
very like, yeah.
Superb motto, and I am definitely trying to do something similar on the lines that you are saying. But I really appreciate the fact that you're so deeply involved in these activities, as well as you are deeply emotionally connected with your job as well, and that really brings out in all your achievements also so far, ma'am. Compliments to you on that.
Thank you.
As a next step in your career progression, if I may say so, you've selected directors in boardroom transition. So far, what impressions do you have about the course and the assistance you have received?
Okay. So as already said, so I'm a person actually who always constantly keep looking for learning opportunities, and being 20 plus years, 2 decades plus in logistics industry, supply chain. So I was always looking now, was thinking like, what next after this? Okay, so I've reached to a level of director of business operations. What next? What am I going to do? How am I going to add value further in the career or even on the personal life? What more is there for me to learn? So that is the time when I accidentally got into a LinkedIn link of Directors Institute.
Okay.
And when I gone through that, it sounded to be very interesting for me. Then that's when I thought, okay, why not try this? But trust me, after joining a Directors Institute and going through the course, it has been really, really very interesting, motivating, and actually, as a person, made me more confident now. Very confident and uh, knowing that yes, with so much of experiences and the kind of uh, the syllabus that we got in Directors Institute and the content and the way it was, the contents were downloaded by Mr. Zishan Patan. So it was really, really so clear to understand and got to know a lot of knowledge about the boardroom rules and regulations, which has brought a lot of confidence in me as an individual and getting prepared for the boardrooms now. I think I can actually look at the next career growth as entering into some boardroom as an independent women director with so much of industry specific knowledge. I'm sure there is further growth path with the help of Directors Institute certifications that I would be getting or I would be completing it. It's really been a very learning and very interesting journey through Directors Institute. And the live sessions that I attended of Dr. Sundareshan, that was also very good eye opener in terms of understanding a lot of case studies that has gone through the boardrooms. It really helped a lot. Yeah, it's built in a lot of confidence and a lot of knowledge about the boardrooms now. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Your feedback on Directors Institute is greatly appreciated, Mrs. Mumtaz. It is wonderful to hear how our programs are helping professionals like you excel in their careers. Your contributions on the field and off the field are not only impressive but deeply inspiring. We're truly grateful that you took the time out of your demanding schedule to share your profound wisdom and experiences with us and our viewers. We at Directors Institute wish you continued success and look forward to seeing all the great things that you will accomplish in the future. All the best in your endeavors, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Rajesh. Thank you for having me on this platform. It's indeed it was a really great discussion that happened, and I enjoyed this episode thoroughly. And thank you so much for the entire management of Directors Institute World Council of Directors. Special thanks to Mr. Zishan Patan and Heaven Mehta for giving this opportunity and hoping to have a great career with the help of Director Institute further. And thank you so much. Indeed, had a great time.
Sure, sure, ma'am. Thank you. The
Thanks
pleasure
again.
was all ours. And I'm sure you will succeed. There's no two ways about it.
Thank
That
you
wraps
so
up
much.
today's episode. We look forward to sharing more inspiring stories and insights from remarkable leaders in our next episode. Until then, keep making a difference and finding joy in your journey. This is Rajesh Joshi signing off. Thank you.